Welcome everyone. Today we're diving into the chaotic world of Adrielle Sigler, better known as Vegan Riz, a TikTok influencer whose life reads like a scripted drama but is rife with real scandals and controversies. Adrielle's rise to fame has been marked not by her achievements, but by the myriad of scams, manipulations, and personal crises that have left her community and her family reeling in the aftermath.
It's me.
No, it's because they're jealous. People from small towns get jealous over...
Adrielle is a 33-year-old TikTok star whose online presence has become synonymous with chaos, deception, and shattered lives. She has turned her million followers into a source of income, wielding their admiration into a weapon that she used against critics while screaming jealousy at anyone who dared to challenge her. This tale isn't just one of mere digital fame. It is a chilling exploration of how someone can leverage social media for personal gain while simultaneously unraveling their moral compass. At the center of this storm are accusations of emotional manipulation, financial deceit, and disturbing behavior. This is the unfiltered story of Adrielle Sigler, and it starts with the controversies that engulfed her. Adrielle Sigler didn't just stumble into the limelight, she erupted into it with a string of controversies behind her. Once a school teacher in Pennsylvania who allegedly left her position due to an abusive relationship, Adrielle reinvented herself as a TikTok sensation overnight. But as the saying goes, with great power comes great responsibility, and she quickly demonstrated a reckless disregard for both. Her main controversies began with a barrage of misleading claims. The most glaring was her infamous GoFundMe campaign, titled Emergency Move. She painted a picture of her son being viciously attacked by a gang of 10 youths, claiming their lives were in danger and that they needed urgent funds to escape their supposed plight. Thousands flocked to donate, enabling her to rake in over $30,000, all under the emotional guise of a desperate mother protecting her child. However, as independent investigators dug into her claims, it became evident that the truth was far murkier. The supposed attack was, in reality, a one-on-one confrontation sparked by her son's actions, not the gang-related violence Adrielle portrayed. Footage surfaced showing her son throwing the first punches, turning the narrative on its head. What was once an act of desperation turned into a scandalous manipulation of her audience's emotions and trust. As this scam drew scrutiny, Adrielle's tactics evolved. Many began to see a pattern of emotional manipulation that left her followers, primarily teenagers, ensnared in a parasocial relationship with her. The young audience adored her, viewing her as an idol, but in reality, she was exploiting their admiration for monetary gain. Adrielle's online persona was a blend of vulnerability and bravado, allowing her to exercise control over her fans. She would go live on TikTok, sharing sob stories about struggles while parading cash and luxury items, all while claiming poverty. The disconnect between her material wealth and her alleged financial struggles became a point of contention online, with users quick to call out the inconsistencies. Her emotional pleas turned into a grift. Adrielle often appeared on camera crying, "I need help," while simultaneously painting a picture of abundance, an exploitative juxtaposition that bewildered her audience.
I'm in a very scary situation. I'm putting a GoFundMe together. If you don't want to help, you don't have to. bothers you that I just want to be living somewhere safe. I just had my whole car fixed. I took my kids back to summer shopping. I paid my rent for 4 months. I am now down to X amount of dollars. I'm not gonna say how much money I have left, but I'm gonna tell you right now it is not enough to move. And I don't even know if I'd get approved if I apply to rent somewhere.
It was becoming clear that she had turned her platform into a personal cash cow, leveraging every bit of drama she could for financial gain. As the GoFundMe scandal gained traction, the facade Adrielle had maintained began to disintegrate. With increased scrutiny came more accusations of deceit. She was not only misleading her followers regarding her son's fight, but also exploiting their innocence and devotion for personal gain. The comment sections of her posts evolved from support to fierce backlash. Many followers felt betrayed, having poured money into her schemes only to learn that the foundation of her pleas was built on lies. Adrielle responded by playing the victim more than ever, doubling down on claims that she was being targeted by haters out to dismantle her success. In a series of increasingly erratic behaviors, she began to spiral into a world of paranoia, where she accused local coffee shops of trying to silence her creativity, claiming they banned her for bullying instead of enforcing their camera policies. Her obsession with how others perceived her overshadowed her ability to take responsibility for her actions. Adrielle's spiraling behavior and continued public meltdowns painted a troubling picture. As she accused others of jealousy, the truth of her actions was staring her right in the face. As her public persona became chaotic, the impact on her family was devastating. Adrielle's children, who had unwittingly become part of her online narrative, were thrust into a world of scrutiny. They suffered not only from being featured in the distressing saga, but also from the consequences of their mother's unhinged behavior. Adrielle would broadcast their private family disputes live, using them as fodder for content while ignoring their pleas for privacy. Her son, who had already been characterized as a bully due to the fallout from his mother's manipulation, began facing harassment at school. Many referred to him not by his name, but as Vegan Riz's son, perpetuating a cycle of victimhood and criticism. Her relationships didn't fare any better. As familial tensions flared, Adrielle's grandmother urged her to cease documenting their family drama online, only for Adrielle to dismiss these warnings. The cycle of manipulation continued, oblivious to the deeper wounds it inflicted on those closest to her. By mid-2024, Adrielle's empire began to crumble. All of the lies she had spun in pursuit of fame and money came crashing down as TikTok started banning her accounts for repeated violations of community guidelines. Each ban only fueled her narrative of being a misunderstood artist, persecuted by the algorithm and competitors. In the eyes of many, Adrielle's downfall was a long overdue reckoning. While she clung desperately to the idea that she was the victim of conspiracy and jealousy, the reality was she had consistently breached the trust of her audience, attempting to maintain relevance at the cost of honesty. The increasing backlash forced her to confront the darkness surrounding her. Critics pointed to her emotional manipulation and the negative impact her actions had on her children. As followers began to unfollow her en masse, desperate for authenticity from their idols, Adrielle's ploys to regain attention, shifted again. This time, she tried to position herself as a warrior mom, fighting against so-called haters. In late 2024, the revelation that her followers had been misled prompted a wave of refund requests for the GoFundMe campaign that had been so brutally dissected. Even as the narrative began to shift towards accountability, Adrielle remained locked in her victim mentality, claiming everyone was jealous of her success, while her audience's patience wore thin. Rumors began to swirl that Adrielle was planning new campaigns that would manipulate audience sympathy once again. Many feared that not only was she continuing her deceptive tactics, but that she aimed to exploit new audiences, particularly vulnerable children looking for connection and guidance. As she prepared to launch what appeared to be a series of beauty and empowerment initiatives targeted at a younger demographic, concern grew over whether the lessons of accountability would be learned or ignored in favor of profit. Would she transform or continue to fall deeper into chaos? Adrielle Sigler's saga is a cautionary tale of exploitation, scandal, and the perils of social media fame. Her journey illustrates how quickly digital stardom can decay into a nightmare of lies, manipulation, and loss of identity. It's a stark reminder that behind the glitz of influencer culture lurk shadows of responsibility that often go unaddressed. For Adrielle, the bright lights of TikTok glamour have transitioned into accusations and backlash that continue to plague her life. As she navigates the ruins of her former empire, only time will reveal the ultimate fate of a woman who turned her personal traumas into a cottage industry of chaos, ultimately harming those she claimed to cherish the most.